Listen closely, fellas, as we're about to get old-fashioned here. And what you're about to learn could change your life. We're driving deep into the essence of Stoicism and how it translates to your dating life. This isn't about scoring a date for Friday night. This is about the pursuit of authentic happiness. And let me tell you, it's not what you think it is. Stoicism, a philosophy from ancient Greece, can teach you how to approach women with confidence, with dignity and respect. But let me get one thing straight right now. I ain't here to deliver cheesy pickup lines, tricks, or gimmicks. This is real wisdom. And this is what will truly and honestly give you the keys to win for the long-term game. Chapter 1. Understanding the true nature of happiness. Stoicism is all about understanding the difference between pleasure and happiness. In the modern world we live in, you might think scoring a hot date or getting laid is the epitome of happiness. But Stoics would tell you that that is just pleasure. Fleeting, temporary, gone in a puff of smoke. So what is happiness for a Stoic? It's virtue. It's living a good, ethical life. It's having a clear conscience when your head hits the pillow at night. And yes, this concept applies straight in the middle of your love life too. So, yeah. Whether you're deciding if you should ask a girl out, whether to take things further, the question isn't whether she's got a pretty face or a smoking hot bod. The question is, does this person align with my values? Is there potential for a meaningful connection that's more than just skin deep? You see, dating isn't just about what she can do for you, make you look good, satisfy your desires, or fill a void. It's also about what you can do for her. Will being with you enrich her life? Will your presence bring value? Will you bring up the important things, the stuff that helps you grow as individuals? In the Stoic view, the goal is to find a companion who brings out your virtues, someone who encourages you to be the best version of you. To live in agreement with nature, as the Stoics say, is to recognize that we are social animals. We need connections, but those powerful connections must be positive, beneficial, and virtuous. So, before you approach a woman, consider your intentions. If it's all about pleasure, you're probably gonna need to reevaluate, my man. But if you're genuinely interested in her, in the possibility of creating something real and beautiful together, well, then you're on the right track. Don't let the idea of pleasure confuse you with happiness. Keep it straight, and it will guide you to the right person. Chapter 2. Embrace your alpha. Let's crack this one wide open. You probably heard the term alpha floating around a lot. Many people think it means being a dominant jerk who bosses people around. But that's not what we're talking about here. In the Stoic context, an alpha is somebody who's an expert in their own field. Someone who knows their stuff inside and out. Who doesn't just dabble in a bit of this and a bit of that. This kind of alpha is a master of self-control, not the controller of others. The alpha I want you to become is the one who owns up to his actions, who has a firm grip on his impulses and fears. It's about dominating your lower instincts, being a master of your own self. No, it's not about showing off. It's about self-discipline. Fear is your biggest enemy in this game, especially when it comes to approaching women. But it's not just about women, is it? Admit it, you are scared of striking up a conversation with strangers in general, let alone a group of tough-looking bodybuilders at a bar. And that's completely normal. But the trick here is to realize that fear is a feeling. It can hurt you unless you let it. It's like a big, scary shadow that disappears when you shine a light on it. So, let's shine a light on your fear. Face it, and you'll find that it's really not as bad as you think. The most important thing to remember is that you, my friend, are of incredible virtue. You have something to offer that nobody else does. Your unique perspective, your passions, your virtues. This ain't some fluffy feel-good nonsense, it's just a fact. When you approach a woman, carry this confidence in your heart. Not a pompous, I'm better than everyone kind of way, but with a calm, composed demeanor that says, I know who I am, I like who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it. Chapter 3. The power of Stoic body language. Body language, mate. Let's hammer this down. See, your body language screams louder than words. It's like a billboard advertising what's going on inside your head. When you approach a woman, or anyone for that matter, they're not just hearing your words, they're reading your body language, consciously or otherwise. But what does body language have to do with Stoicism? Everything, my friend. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of life. And this way of life should reflect not just in your words and in your thoughts, but also in the way that you carry yourself. When Epictetus said, "Man, you must become bold. Lift your head like one who is freed from slavery." He wasn't just shooting the breeze, he meant it, literally. He wants you to carry yourself with the boldness and freedom of a man who has broken the chains of fear and insecurity. Lift your head up, stand tall, shoulders back. And that's the posture of a confident man. A man who isn't afraid to face the world. You see, your body language can change the way you feel about yourself. When you carry yourself with confidence, you start to feel more confident. Whoa, it's a neat little trick that can help you take control of your emotions. And what if she rejects you? Does it mean you failed? No. You only fail when you let her rejection define your worth. Remember, her rejection is not in your control. It says nothing about you and everything about her. Does her rejection have any impact on your existence? Absolutely not. It's just a minor hiccup in the grand scheme of things, so don't let it get to you. Keep your head held high, maintain that confident body language, and move on. Chapter 4. The false dichotomy of desire and principle. Let's get real. You're a young dude. You are filled to the brim with hormones, semen, and desire. But you're also trying to be a good person, trying to live by certain principles. How do you balance these two? In Stoicism, the distinction's clear. Desire for physical pleasure is considered an evil, not because it's morally wrong, but because it's a distraction. It pulls you away from what truly matters. Virtue, wisdom, and the pursuit of a good life. Some of you may be thinking, "Hold on, are you telling me to suppress my desires? To pretend I'm not attracted to women?" Hell no, that's not what I'm talking about. You're a human being, you're not a robot. Desire is part of being a human. But here's the thing, you gotta master your desires, not let them master you. When you're driven by desire, you're like a dog chasing its tail, going round and round and round and round and round in circles, never really getting anywhere. It's when you let your principles guide you, that's when you truly start to live. You see, when you approach a woman with the sole intention of fulfilling your desires, you've already lost the game. You're putting your happiness in her hands. But when you approach with the intention to connect, to have a meaningful conversation, to potentially enrich her life and yours, that is when you win. Chapter 5. Renewing the combat. Overcoming fear and rejection. Here's the thing, if you're a human, you've been rejected at some point in your life. And it stung, didn't it? But let me tell you something. It's okay. You didn't die, right? Sound at the risk of sounding like your mom. The world didn't end. You just feel a little bit bruised. The fear of rejection can hold you back from approaching women and even people in general. A true Stoic understands that fear is nothing more than an emotion. And like every single emotion, it can be controlled. You see, when you let fear control you, you become a slave to it. But when you decide to confront your fear, you become the master. And what if you face rejection? So what? Remember, her reaction is out of your control. She has the right to say no. Doesn't diminish your worth or your virtue. It's just a part of life. Learn from it. Grow from it. Chapter 1. You have good quality and groomed facial hair. Consider this. A man who hadn't shaved in weeks. His facial hair is messy, uneven. There's a sense of neglect that comes from his appearance, hinting at a possible similar neglect of other aspects of his life. Not an attractive sight, is it? Now imagine another man. This man has facial hair too, but there is a marked difference. His beard, though thick, is well groomed and neat. It fits his face, it complements his jawline. The image is strikingly different. That's appealing, that's attractive. This man, you feel, takes care of himself. He has self-respect and self-discipline. He understands the importance of presentation. He values himself. He understands that how he presents himself to the world is a reflection of who he is. There is a reason why the healthy look is often associated with attraction and magnetic power. It's not just aesthetic appeal. It's what the beard represents. It's a symbol of maturity. It's a symbol of masculinity, of strength and value as a man. Women are biologically wired to be attracted to these traits, as they signify protection and security. However, do not confuse an unruly beard with a rugged one. A rugged one is maintained. It is not unkempt. It's controlled. Maintaining a well-groomed beard is more than just not shaving. It involves regular trimming and conditioning. An ideal stubble, the kind that strikes the perfect balance between being clean-shaven and having a heavy beard, requires optimal growth of about 5 to 10 days. This length is universally appealing and has been favored by women across cultures. It gives the face a structure and looks that are universally masculine and attractive. It's important to groom and maintain that beard regularly. Keep it clean, keep it conditioned. Chapter 2. You have great body language. You walk into a room full of people. What do they see first? Your clothes? Your haircut? No, gentlemen, what they see first is your body language. The way that you carry yourself, the way that you walk, the way that you hold yourself. That's the first impression that you make. And believe me, that's a lasting one. Having great body language isn't just standing tall or not slouching. It is radiating that confidence, that control, that assurance, that pep in your step. It's basically making a statement without making a word come out of your mouth. It's about commanding respect without demanding it. Let's use our imagination again. 2 men entering a room. One man walks in with his shoulders slumped, his eyes downcast. He takes up as little space as he can. He withdraws into himself. The other walks with his shoulders squared, chin up, eyes forward, owning his space. Which one do you respect more? Which one seems more confident, more in control, more appealing? Let's talk about posture. Having a good posture is not just about physical health, it's mental too. When you stand tall with your shoulders back and your chest out, you're telling the world and you're telling yourself that you're confident, you're strong. This in turn boosts your self-esteem and your confidence. It's kind of like a cycle. Confidence breeds good posture, and good posture breeds good confidence. Chapter 3. Subtle confidence. You gotta remember this, confidence is such a game changer. It's that secret ingredient that makes you stand out. Women love a confident man. Not the loud, show-off kind, but a man who knows his worth and carries himself with a quiet, steady confidence. Now do not mistake confidence with arrogance, please. There is a thin line between the two, and you don't want to cross that, because you'll go from a person I like talking to somebody that I never talk to ever again. Arrogance is killer. Confidence is knowing that you can do something. Arrogance is saying that you're better. Women dig the former, not the latter. You see, when you're confident, you don't need to yell or act tough to show that you're strong. Your actions, your words, your attitude, they all do the talking for you, bud. And let me tell you, the talk is so much more attractive than any muscle flex or tall tale. Here's a little secret. The way that you talk can reveal so much about your confidence. Imagine saying something nice to a woman, but not looking her in the eyes when you say it. Doesn't really show confidence, does it? Now try the same thing, but this time, look her in the eyes, lower your voice a bit. See the difference? Chapter 4. You're chivalrous. Some call it outdated, others swear by it, but here's the truth. Chivalry, in its true essence, is a demonstration of respect. And let me tell you, women love respect. Matter of fact, human beings love respect. In fact, they all crave it. Now don't twist this into some fancy idea of rescuing damsels in distress. It's not what we're talking about. Chivalry is all about showing care, consideration, and yes, respect. It's not considering women weak. It's treating them with egalitarianism and kindness. Let me break it down for you. Walking on the outer side of the sidewalk when you're with a woman? Chivalrous. Offering her her jacket when she's cold? Chivalrous. Walking her home with her comfort in mind, of course? That's chivalrous too. Being nice to kids or pets when she's around, definitely chivalrous. But why does any of that matter? Because when you display this kind of stuff, you're creating an atmosphere of trust. Women feel safe around you. They know that they can rely on you. And believe me, there is nothing more attractive than a man who can provide a sense of security. Not just financial or anything, but emotional security as well. You're showing her that you're not just a man who can take care of himself, but also those around him. Chapter 5. You can flirt well. Now, a lot of you hotshots out there probably think you got it down. But there's a fine line between successful flirting and landing yourself in the friend zone. Or even worse, the creep zone. First, let's address the basics. Eye contact, smiling. These are the cornerstones of flirting. They're universal, they're super simple, and they're effective. But let's not stop at the basics. Let's get advanced up in here. What works on one woman will probably not work on every woman, and it certainly might not work on the next. But there is one universal trait that every woman appreciates. Some in varying degrees, obviously some are more goofy than others, but that's humor. Humor, gentlemen, is your secret weapon. It is the one thing that can make you stand out in the sea of men trying to win her over. Even with serious women, they will crack a joke every once in a while, I promise. But, humor is subjective. What's funny to you might not be so funny to her. So pay attention to her body language, her verbal response. If she's laughing, if she's engaging, then you're on the right track. If she's not, well, then it's time to switch tactics. Now let's talk about pickup lines. They're overused, they suck, they're cliche, and let's be real, they don't work. They just don't. I don't know if you've ever tried a pickup line, it gets laughed at. Instead of relying on some overused line, focus on being genuine. Start with a smile, engage in conversation, and keep it light and fun. But don't forget to monitor the conversation. If it's getting stale or creeping into the creep zone, time to change course. Being aware of how the conversation's going is so crucial for the game of flirting, so have social skills. Yeah. Or even not like necessarily massive social skills, just have social awareness. Yeah, there you go. Chapter 6, you maintain yourself. Boys, let us address a simple truth. No woman wants a man who can't take care of himself. Simple as that. Simple as that. A man who takes the time to maintain himself speaks loud about his character, says that he respects himself, values his appearance, and he understands the importance of personal hygiene. If you can't keep yourself clean and presentable, how can she trust you to take care of anything else? Your appearance isn't just about looking good, it's about smelling good too. Do you know that bad hygiene can really repel women? Yeah, of course. I mean, right, and obviously, smelling bad could be the reason why you're striking out, dude. Don't be the guy who dresses to impress but forgets to shower. Your nice clothes and expensive cologne are wasted if you stink. Shower regularly, use deodorant, and maintain good oral hygiene. Oh, and when it comes to the way that you dress, keep it simple. Don't go wild with various colors like you're some tropical parrot. You're not here to draw everybody's attention in a desperate manner. You're here to feel good about yourself and show it confidently. These tricks aren't really tricks. They're just rules of the social game. And it's not about changing who you are, but enhancing and showcasing the attractive traits that you already have. Be the best version of you, and watch as you naturally attract the right kind of attention. So, get out there, champ. See you in the streets.